The good that I would, I do not. That which I do, I allow not. I really am doing things that I don't in my own mind allow. And those things that I am hating, I'm doing. Trying to please God in the flesh has to be one of the most frustrating experiences in the world. Trying to attain a righteous standing before God by my works has to be one of the most frustrating things in the world. Because I have found with Paul that I do not always do what I know I should do. It's so easy for me to not do the things that I should. I've seen people in distress on the freeway, parked on the side, problems. And as I drove by, the Spirit prompted me, help them. I said, you can't be serious. You know how busy I am, and I've got an appointment. You know, I can't stop. And the good that I would, I don't. And that which I would not, I do. Someone lays a hot fudge sundae before me, and I know I shouldn't. But I do it. And that hot fudge sundae can be many things. I know I shouldn't, but I do it anyhow. That which I hate, I do. Now, if then I am doing those things that I don't want to do, and I am consenting to the law that it is good, then it is no more I that am doing it, but the sin that is dwelling in me. I find that there is a dual nature. The flesh and the Spirit. And these two are warring against each other. And there are times when I yield to the flesh and I hate myself for yielding to the flesh, because my spirit wants to live after God and please God. And when I yield to the flesh, I feel miserable. I hate myself for doing what I have done. The real me, after the Spirit, wants to please God. There is another part of me, the flesh, that wants to please the flesh. There is that sinful part of me, that fleshly part of me, that oftentimes leads me to do those things I don't want to do. If you really get down to the basic heart of the issue, I want to live to please God. I consent to the law, it is good. I want to live a righteous life. I want to live a life that would be pleasing unto the Father. Now, if I am doing those things that I don't want to do, it really isn't me. It's the sinful flesh or the sinful nature that is in me. For I know that in me, that is in my flesh, there dwelleth no good thing. Our problem is we don't believe that yet. For man, it seems, is inveterately trying to reform his flesh and improve his flesh. Improve my fleshly performance. It seems that man constantly is looking for some good in the flesh. Some redeeming characteristic. Trying in the flesh to give God some cause to love me, so that I can boast a little bit in myself and say, well, God loved me because, you see, I'm so sweet. Because I never lose my temper. Because I always react in such a kind, generous way. So God loves me because I am so kind and generous. It's too bad you're not kind and generous. So that God can love you as much as He loves me, you see. We haven't yet come to the full acknowledgement of the truth that in me, that is in my flesh, there dwells no good thing. I need to come to that truth so that I will learn to have absolutely no confidence in my flesh. And I have found in the years of walking with the Lord, every area where I had confidence in my flesh, God has allowed me to fall, to show me that I don't have the strength, the ability, the power, the capacity that I thought I had. I used to say, chuck the rock. And I was stupid enough to believe it. But I'll tell you, He fractured me. And now it's chuck the sand. I mean, He crushed me. And I know that in me, that is in my flesh, there dwells no good thing. For there's nothing wrong with my will. My desire, it's present with me. The desire to do the right thing, the desire to live for God, the desire to serve the Lord, the desire to pray, the desire to read His Word, the desire to draw closer, that's all there. But taking the desire and putting it into actuality, that's the rub, that's the problem. How to perform that which I would, I don't know. I don't do. My, if I could just be all that I desired to be for God. What a spiritual giant I would be. The desire is there, but how to perform it, I just can't find. For the good that I would, I do not, but the evil which I would not, that I do. Now, if I am doing that which I would not, it is no more me that do it, but sin that dwells in me. He is repeating this point for emphasis. He's already made it in verses 16 and 17. But for emphasis, he's repeating it. I find then there is a law, Murphy's, that when I would do good, evil is present with me. My desire to do something good for God, evil is there. For I delight in the law of God after the inward man. In my heart, in my spirit, I delight in God's law. But I see another law in my body that is warring against the law of my mind. And it brings me into captivity to the law of sin, which is in my body, in the members of my body. O wretched man that I am, who shall deliver me from this body of sin, the body of death? And so Paul's cry, and I have come to that same point in my life where I cried out as Paul cried out, realizing the weakness of my flesh and the failure in my flesh, the inability to perform that good which I would for God, and that nagging weakness and doing those things that I didn't want. I came with Paul to this point of despair. O wretched man that I am. Now, unfortunately, when I first came to that point of despair, I didn't ask the question that Paul asked. I came to the point of despair and said, O wretched man that I am, how can I deliver myself from this miserable state? And I was open to another scheme, another try. If I'll just count 10. If I'll just stop first and think, what would Jesus do? And we have all of these self-help methods of improvement for myself. How to live a successfully carnal Christian life in 5 easy lessons. O wretched man that I am, one day I came with Paul to the point of despair once more, but this time it was total despair. And with Paul I cried, O wretched man that I am, who shall deliver me? Because I had given up in trying to do it myself. And I found out that that place of defeat, where I ceased from trying to do it myself and turned it over completely to Jesus Christ, was the place of the initial victory in my life. When it was no longer I, but Christ now in me. And as I began to yield to those forces of God's Spirit that He had made available to me, now the net effect and result is that as I have now entered into this glorious victory in Jesus Christ and this glorious relationship with God through Christ, I cannot stand here and brag to you of all that I did and all of my efforts or all that I am doing. The hours that I put in serving the Lord and the sacrifices that I've made, and all that. Sad. God forbid that I should boast save in the cross of Jesus Christ. Therein is my victory. Because I couldn't deliver myself, and I didn't deliver myself, but God by His Spirit delivered me from the bondage of the life after the flesh, and He set me free by His Spirit to serve Him. Now, He allowed me to come to the point of total despair